installed a framework in my business that has allowed me to effectively peer around the corners of my revenue and have a system all laid out with KPIs where I can actually spot and find solutions to problems early enough in the month where there's still something to do about it. Hey friends, this is Michelle Murray with MichelleMurray.com. Listen, if you're like 90% of the wholesalers that I know, you are trying to run your business by attempting to solve problems after they occur. Here's what I mean. So you're doing business, doing deals, talking to buyers and sellers, and then the 25th or so of the month rolls around, and then you look to see that you are a long shot away from your revenue goals and you only have a few days left in the month. So you're looking at another month where you did not hit your goal. Now, at this point, you start talking to your team, right? You start, checking to see, make sure the acquisition people are talking to sellers. The disposition person is trying to push out deals to the buyer. And quite honestly, you're trying to fix a problem that may be a little bit too late to fix. I suffered from business anxiety. Around the 25th or so of the month, the last week in the month, the anxiety started to flare up as I started to look at where we were at in terms of revenue, in terms of cash in the bank. Because in my mind, I'm like, well, I know I spent this and I need to be able to cover payroll, marketing expensive, overhead, all of that. So I always used to get anxiety towards the end of the month, right? Because I'm waiting on that one last deal to close in order for us to push us over the edge and hopefully have a decent month. Let's just call it that, a decent month, right? But that was the wrong way of doing business. Not only was that bad for my mental health, right? It caused me to, run in and on my team and kind of rush them, kind of bum rush them, be like, hey, did you make enough calls? Why aren't we having enough contracts? Or, hey, why aren't we disposing these deals? What's wrong with this deal? Why haven't that buyer sent in that wire yet? Why haven't this? Why haven't that? Right? It was just an all-out mess at the end of the month. And it wasn't just me, my team felt the pressure also. So I kind of took the anxiety and pushed it onto the team, and now we're all anxious, right? And I ran my business that way for many, many years until I learned to make changes operationally that allowed me to peer around the corner on months early enough in the month where I can actually do something about it, right? I'm of the mindset that wholesale companies don't go out of business or stop operations because they have a leader that gets tired or they ran out of ideas or they couldn't find the right training or the right mentors. I'm of the mindset that most wholesalers shut down their business because they run out of cash. Hear me out. They run out of cash, meaning they cannot predict the future in order to make the right decisions today that'll help them have a better tomorrow. I've installed a framework in my business that has allowed me to effectively peer around the corners of my revenue and have a system all laid out with KPIs where I can actually spot and find solutions to problems early enough in the month where there's still something to do about it, right? We've gotten so good at doing this that we can start to see by week 2 if there's an issue and rush in and fix it early enough to where it has little or no effect on our bottom line at the end of the month. And quite frankly, now that I have my business structured this way where I'm finally able to do that, I have a system and a framework that works in such a consistent way, I'm really kind of lost as to how I was able to do it before then, right? I look back on how I did the same month in the previous year and I'm like, I don't even know how I managed a process or managed a team without this specific framework. And I want to actually show it to you. I want to show you the exact shifts that I made in my free training. I basically was able to triple my business without having to spend any additional money on marketing by making small adjustments that made big, huge difference. If you're like me, you're always in search of those small things that you can do that make big changes. So the way that I have my business structured today allows me to be proactive instead of reactive, right? And quite frankly, this is the only way that you can run a business successfully and garner predictable revenue. This is not only important for your bottom line, it's important for your mental health, the morale on your team, and your future. Because I think at the end of the day, we're all gonna have problems in our business. Things are not gonna go exactly the way we plan out. But if we can minimize errors as much as humanly possible, then we can be able to have a better quality of life. Look, I hope that makes sense. This is Michelle D. Murray. Go to michelledmurray.com and I will show you the exact shifts that I use to triple my business without having to spend any additional money on marketing. And if you have a running wholesale business that you are operating right now, even if you are doing well, if it is not consistent and predictable, I have something that I can show you that will absolutely blow you away in terms of its simplicity and its magnified effect. Thanks for watching.